The Job Squad.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It was a joke I had started when I was in WWF the first time. They were doing a big angle with, remember, they had the Los Boricuas, they had BSK. Everybody had a gang. You know what I mean? The
Yep.
Click. Everybody had a gang on TV, and everybody had a gang backstage. And because the locker room was so divided at that point, because of the Click, everybody had a lot. The Click had a lot of heat back then, and I told Jimmy one time, we were sitting in catering, and I
And
said, Jimmy,
Undertaker's clique was known as what? B what?
BSK,
Okay.
Bone Crusher Street Crew.
Okay.
And then there were the Cowboys, that Dustin, the Smoking Guns, and everybody had a group, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And except for us, we were just like the group of misfit toys.
Yeah. And on the bus in Germany, it was sectioned off too, right?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
The middle of the bus, that's where the bathroom is, or the latrine. All the second squad or the second team guys sat up front.
Yep.
And all the guys in the clique sat in the back. I'll come back to that in a minute. But the bus was separated too.
It was segregated.
We were discriminated against.
Yeah.
Is it too late to sue, James? I think
the statute of limitations is 24 years.
Okay, well, we're past that. It. But go ahead. So where were you?
I was in the catering, and I was being a smart ass, and I told Jimmy, I said, I'm going to start my own gang. Jimmy's like, what are you talking about? I said, I'm going to start my own gang. It's going to be me, Barry Horowitz, Candido, Aldo Montoya, all the underneath guys. And we're going to be the most powerful gang there is. And he's like, how are you going to be the most powerful gang? I said, we're the Job Squad. You got to wipe the mat with us. Yeah. And he goes, how is Barry yourself going to have power? I go, if Undertaker goes out there tonight and he tombstones Barry, and Barry stands up and dusts off his hair and walks out, who had the power in that match?
Yeah.
I said, so there were a lot of the boys that really thought they were actually winning. And it was a way to kind of jokingly remind them, you're not really winning because I ain't really losing.
Yeah.
I'm doing you a favor. It's not like you're entitled to it. So don't disrespect me. And it started as a joke. And when I went to ECW, all the boys loved it. And they were like, you need to make t-shirts. So I made t-shirts, and I think I sold from March of that year to October of that year. I sold about nearly 4,000 t-shirts at $25 a shirt.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not. I'm dead
4,000 shirts?
Yes. Yeah.
Damn.
And that was back before the internet commerce was a thing. I only would sell them on the internet, and I would sell them at shows.
That would be a collector's item now, right?
Yeah.
A big time.
I sold so many that when I went back to WWF, I signed a licensing agreement for them. And I use this as an example, Dutch, because I tell all the young guys and girls, I'm like, when you get in the ring, the beauty of wrestling is you can do whatever you want once you get in that ring.
Yeah, you're the center.
Your world. You're the center of the universe.
And own it.
You can do whatever you want. Yep, you can own it. But I said, you've got to make a choice. Okay. I use the example. I like, Job Squad made me a lot of money. I made, almost 4,000 shirts at $25 a shirt. I said, it was pretty good. I signed a licensing agreement with WWF, and it never went anywhere because they did not know how to market the shirts to the casual audience so that where they would understand it and want to buy them.
I was talking about the casual audience just a day or two ago, right, James?
Mm-hmm.
That's when you get a sellout, when the casual fans come. Then you have a sellout. Now you know you're doing something right.
And that's what you want to market to. But everyone today always markets to just the wrestling audience. And I'm like, you have the choice. You can be Job Squad, successful, which I was. I made money with those. So you can be Steve Austin successful. Whereas his shirts were not just in Hot Topic or Spencer's Gifts in the mall. They were in Elder Beerman. They were in Lazarus. They were in Macy's. They were in Von Braun. They were in Walmart. They were in Target. They were everywhere.
Everywhere.
And he made life-changing money off of those shirts. I said, whereas I made some money, but I didn't make the money. So you can choose to be Stone Cold Steve Austin merchandise successful, or you can choose to be Job Squad. merchandise
Well,
successful.
And that deals in
Both are
another
successful.
thing. Yes. You got to take what the market offers and make
Mhm.
it count, because that's what they give you. This is what I'm going to take.
Right. Yes.
Al,
Let me go.
Dutch, can
Go ahead,
I do
James.
apologise to jump in. I want to. I don't want to harp on too much about the Job Squad, but I'm looking. There was 5 members in total: you, the Blue Meanie, Bob Holly, Dwayne, Gilberg, and Scorpio. Were there any other? 2 questions actually. 1, did you have free reign to a point of who would be in the group? And 2, was there anybody that you wanted to join the Job Squad that for whatever reason didn't happen?
No, it was, I think what they were trying to do at the time, and I'm not, again,
He didn't ask me.
Yeah. Well, you were with Bradshaw at the time. And Mick was also going to be a part of it at one point too. And then got changed. Mick Foley.
Yep.
And that got changed. This is all just speculation, but I think a large, they didn't have a direction or an idea to do something with some of those guys. And I think they kind of put them with me to kind of, see if they could manufacture something, because like I tried to explain to Vince Russo, I'm like, I don't know how we're going to do this. The whole idea of this gimmick that was a joke was just to remind people that you're not really winning, so we're not really losing. So how do we put that on TV and sell that to an audience when the rest of the show is all about winning and losing? I said, it makes no sense, Vince, and I don't know how we're going to be able to do it. And it just kind of, as a result, it kind of just floundered. It didn't really go anywhere or do anything because there was no way to really properly use it.
What was the idea to get Mick in? Or was it just a name suggestion and no actual creative to establish why?
Well, it kind of started, and then the following week he was no longer a part of it. So they kind of put him with DX. So I wasn't privy to a lot of the direction or ideas of creative that especially this was my fault. I take responsibility, but I would show up. I can't tell you the entire time I was there in WWF, which was my fault. I would literally show up for matches, angles, and no one would ever speak to me and tell me a direction or what they wanted or why I was doing it. The only person that ever really took the time to really, have a conversation with was Brian Gewirtz. But as far as anyone else, I would literally show up. They'd walk up. Oh, you're doing a pre-tape here. You're doing this. You're doing that. I'd be in matches, that would just come out of nowhere. I would be, I clearly remember one time they had me come out dressed as Vince McMahon, wearing a suit and a rubber mask, and like I was.
That's entertaining. I like that.
He's going to ball shot me, but they don't tell me what they want to do with it or why. They don't even talk to me. They just, here you go, and here's what you're doing, and just walk away. And my fault, because I should have asked questions and all of that, but you just don't at the time. Nobody ever called me ahead of TV and, hey kid, we're thinking about doing this with you this week, and here's what we're hoping to accomplish, and we're wanting to try and get so and so over or try to get heat this way. I could have done whatever their vision was much more effectively if they'd have just communicated more.
But I don't think they knew.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think sometimes they just make it up on the fly.
They knew, and they said, well, the angle is getting over, the character is getting over without anything else. So I think they just let it run and see where they wanted to go with it. But I don't think they knew. But I loved the character. I really did. There were so many things you could do with that character because, if you weren't limited, that means creative wasn't limited either. And they could do anything with it.